and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You know, we're in this marketing world with our videos and our YouTube stuff, and a business that doesn't market and have product to show who they are just will never survive. It just doesn't happen. And I have the right to talk because if you look in front of it, I have mugs with my logo on it. Okay, we have, actually my shirt is embroidered. And if you came into the studio, I'd give you some pens too. Those things are so important. With me is Joel Piekarski.
Yes.
Okay, and you're with Signature Services and Promotional Products?
Correct.
Oh, man, even at this
Awesome.
old age, I sometimes can remember. Now, your name was easy compared to this morning's guest.
Gotcha.
Okay, his name was really, really hard. I couldn't wait to get it out before I'd forget it. When you get older, that's what it is. All right, so what does Signature Services do?
First of all, Wayne, I want to be proud that I'm your 65,000th and one
No, you're not.
interview.
I'm somewhere
You
between
said
65,000 and 70,000.
Okay.
I got a lot of interviews on my belt. I can't count that high anymore.
So-
But yeah, you're up there.
Yep.
And but you're my second one today. So
Gotcha.
number 2, so you have to try harder. Okay, so what does Signature Services do?
You know, our goal is to partner with businesses, find out what their marketing goals are, and do what we can with the tools that we have to try to help them reach their goals.
Okay, so you mentioned also promotional products.
And we do that by with the wheelhouse that we're in when it comes to wearables, promotional products. You mentioned, you walk in, you've got a pen for them.
Right.
You're
My shirts are
you're wearing
bright.
your shirt. So we're looking at a lot of what it is that we do. But when it comes to, especially this time of year, you've got certain customers that you want to go out of the way to show your appreciation.
Right.
And employees. I liked how you talked earlier about your employees. It's
Yeah, I
like
won't give
family.
them anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to give them anything. Don't be pushing it. Okay, I just talk nice about them because
No,
they're worth it.
but I'm sure they've earned it.
Yeah, they earn it.
So
They earned a gift. I told you I had the space next door. We were cleaning it out, and we found it's still in the package, an old camera.
okay,
And Angel's working the board. He's into that stuff, and I gave it to him. I don't need to have a holiday to give people that I think are worth it
Sure.
something. Like my wife gets, if I see something, it doesn't have to be a holiday or anything.
Sure.
I just give it to her.
Sure.
Okay, so
sometimes that's more impactful.
right.
Your holiday seasons, people kind of think, well, but if you're
You
doing
have to.
something in a situation where they don't expect it, it even has more of an impact.
Okay, so you're coming up to a point, which is an interesting point, and that is, a lot of companies go and buy the pens and this and that, but
Sure.
sometimes you have for lack of a better word, your higher end people or your people that are more important that you want to give something different.
Sure.
What are those items that are usually given?
You know what? It all comes to a lot of questions and personal. You want to give that personal touch. You guys got the chocolatiers.
Yeah.
That's something that's special that people in this area recognize, and when they receive that, it's something a little. They know that you went that extra mile to get that for them.
Right.
So, we've been at this now for 23 years and asking a lot of questions and experience and seeing things, and then getting input from my customers on how things were received. There's not one answer. I guess it's across the board.
Right. And again, most mid-sized companies have people that they've dealt with and given them business throughout. And you don't need 500 items that you want to give.
Sure.
You need an item such as a leather binder.
Sure.
Okay, stuff like that. I'm
Sure.
sure you do.
Yep,
Where you're going to buy 2 or 3 just to give to
Sure.
key people.
absolutely.
So, those things are so important. Who's like your clientele?
My target customer is the family-owned business between 3 employees and 70 employees. I would
Oh.
say that kind of the family-owned business, whether it's a restaurant or in the healthcare or in manufacturing, there's no specific industry. Healthcare too, but kind of the smaller businesses seems to be who we who we enjoy doing business with.
Okay, so you get into this. Why did you get into it? I mean, there's so many businesses and stuff to get into. Why this one?
You know, my background, I'm a PGA member.
Okay.
So my previous life, I ran golf courses and gave lessons and ran tournaments and merchandised golf shops. And an opportunity presented itself to me to join a franchise organization called Advantage Golf. So it was kind of a neat transition for me in the fact that I could take a leap of faith, be an entrepreneur and a business owner into something that I was comfortable with. So what we were was a one-stop shop for any organization that ran a golf outing. So we provided the merchandise, the giveaways, the volunteer shirts, the awards, hole-in-one packages, signage, banners, anything that an event needed. We were kind of a one-stop shop for somebody that that was running a golf outing. So basically, I was an extra committee member on all my customers' golf committees, and nonprofit organizations, associations, chambers of commerce, and a lot of businesses are involved in entertaining and doing business and raising money on a golf course.
So that gave you the lead in.
So what Advantage Golf was, again, it was I would be kind of on these committees and support them as much or as little as what they needed. Bringing my expertise, being in the golf business, I felt like I could contribute more than just providing stuff for them. I felt like I could help them reach their goals, if it was entertaining their customers, if it was raising money. With my background and with all that I was learning with every organization that I was inputted with, I felt like I could provide some value more than just being a guy that's bringing stuff that I could sell them. And so in Ohio, we did this in Ohio, and that's where I built the business for 23 years was in Ohio. So in Ohio, there's only golf being played, actually tournaments and events being played probably 4 or 5 months out of the year.
So what'd you do the rest of the time?
So that's what I learned real quick is in order to put food on the table, I better figure out how to have income all year round. So what I did initially started out as Advantage Golf, and now my business is called Signature Services, but I used the golf as a unique way to kind of differentiate myself from any of the pen and the mug salespeople.
So you wanted to focus as a niche market.
Yes.
Okay, and
so when I made a prospecting call, I would call and find out if you were involved in golf and what ways can I help you achieve your golf goals. And by the way, I see you do pens and mugs, and so it was just a unique way for me to prospect and grow relationships, and also still be a part of something that I have a passion for.
Do you mainly focus on golf stuff still?
It's primarily, I all my relationships stem from golf in one way, shape, or form. If I trace it all back, it would have, the referral came from somebody that is a golfer. But I would say a lot of my relationships are tied to golf in one way or another.
Wow. And I don't golf.
No.
I used to miniature golf. And I played, and I don't know if I get this right, you would know better. I played up north on what they called an executive course.
Sure.
So it was half the size.
Sure.
Okay, and it was kind of cool, but really for me it was like, oh look, golf cart.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I went to Club Med, and they gave me a golf cart because I was filming Club Med. It was silliest thing they could have done, because what I did was I drove the golf cart in the hallways, and I was all over with it. Okay, and I wasn't even a kid.
Yeah.
But with the entertainment.
But you enjoyed it though, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a great time.
There you go.
I had a great time. So. And now they make these golf carts that look like Mercedes and Rolls Royce. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, do you mainly still focus on just the golfing industry, or if a bagel store says, "Hey, I need shirts," you're there?
That's a good question. When it came to prospecting all those years, I was definitely focused on golf,
right.
But not so much now. I would say that the majority is just sourcing and using that same mentality of trying to be somebody that's going to help somebody reach their goals when it comes to marketing and building relationships and business, and kind of using the tools that I have with the business that I have to try to help them reach those goals. So I would say probably down here now with golf being played 12 months out of the year and us trying to get a business up and running here in this in this market.
Right.
My own personal time, probably I'm going to spend a lot of time with doing the same thing I did to help me be successful in Ohio here as well.
It's interesting because what you do for the golf community, other industries are going to use too.
Sure.
Okay, so if you're making volunteer shirts for the golf event, the clay shoot event needs T-shirts too,
Sure.
or shirts too.
Same thing.
Okay, so
Sure.
I mean, and here we're in Florida, so most things are done year round.
Sure.
Okay, if you can deal with the 5 minutes of rain that we get every day,
Yep.
and because we live in the hurricane capital of the world, if you can deal with those things, you're doing okay here. We're just talking about the humidity. When you go like to Arizona and stuff, I was just talking to Megan and Corey who are here. They just came back from Northern California. We don't do really well breathing in those areas where people say, "Oh, so good and healthy for you." We need a little humidity.
Yeah.
We're used to it. We need a little humidity.
Yeah.
Do you golf now still?
I do take customers golfing, and I do it more for an enjoyment. But I don't compete anymore.
I mean, I covered Honda Classic.
Yep.
I covered the Women's Executive Day at Honda Classic.
Sure.
I filmed all those things.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, like, there are things that get me, and there are things that just get by me. So I'm not a big sports person. But I think from having, driven a couple of golf balls in my day and stuff, I'm like, how the heck is every shot, though it might not be a perfect shot, at least it's a fairly straight shot, where I might get 5 straight shots and then the other one is going to hit the guy behind me. Okay?
Hey, that's real talent to be able to hit the guy behind you.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
I love theater. I think it's amazing how people can get on stage, sing, dance, act, be where they need to be at any specific moment.
Yeah.
Those things really impress me. Like, in golfing, I look at it and I say, well, do you have to have this position, or can your body twist this way? Is it going to change how you shoot? And I don't want to get off topic here,
Yeah.
but I just find it pretty amazing how they have so many things to help you improve your game.
Sure.
So my question to you is, having a golf ball that's engraved or whatever, or printed on,
Screen printed, yep.
okay, is that going to improve my game? Or help me find the ball that I'm using? But you do that, right?
You know what? If you're playing if me and you are playing the same golf ball, you have to delineate it one way or another. So,
Right.
So if your logo's on it, because if two of the same balls are hit and they're sitting in the fairway and you can't identify whether it's yours or mine, it's a lost ball and you got to go re-tee it.
Oh, really?
Add 2 shots.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. I didn't know that.
Yep. So to put a logo on it, yes.
So do you do a lot of that? I mean, is that
Oh,
something
yeah.
within your wheelhouse?
Absolutely.
How
Sure.
about a tee? Can you can
Yep.
engrave them?
We can do the tee.
What's the
do
biggest seller that you have?
The biggest seller that I have, probably T-shirts.
That's what I would think.
I would say the majority, or for special events. and
Embroidered or
things,
printed?
and probably screen printed T-shirts.
Okay.
Probably do the biggest volume of that as much as anything.
Right. Well, because this is an event, they have 20 volunteers, 30
Sure.
volunteers.
Sure.
So, okay. Your clientele is still somehow connected to the golfing industry, I guess.
My current customer base, correct. Now, I just brought on Jennifer O'Brien.
Okay.
Her official start date is actually today.
Okay.
And she comes from Stewart, born and raised in this area. And her family, the O'Brien family, owned Gulfstream Aluminum for 25 years.
Okay.
And they were members at the chamber and that. So
And that's where we met in the Stuart Martin County Chamber.
Yep. So she's kind of the driving force. I partnered with her, and I'm just trying to support her and the relationships she has. She came from Beaches MRI
Uh-huh.
and did marketing for Beaches MRI. They had an office here in Port St. Lucie and Palm Beach Gardens, and also in Stewart.
Right. I mean, if you're up in this area, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's the interesting thing about being up in the Treasure Coast as compared to being in Palm Beach and Broward County, where I was too. If you mention something here, most people know it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Or know of it or about it.
Yes.
Everybody jokes about my location because I say, hey, we're behind Body Talk, which is the only strip club in St. Lucie County. And I hear the same thing. Oh, I know where it is. Never been in there. But so no one's ever been in there, but yet they're still in business. Still in business.
Yeah.
But I'm in a perfect location
Yep.
because I'm offset off the main road. I don't have the road noise.
Sure.
And I'm an end cap. So
Sure.
it makes it a little easier for me. What's the future of your company, in your opinion?
The future is going to be Jennifer in the relationships and
Is she going to focus outside the golfing community?
yeah, that's why I say my focus on growing the business here in Martin County is going to be through the same channels that I did up in Ohio,
Right.
and we're going to kind of point her and steer her in a little bit different direction because she doesn't have the background that I have.
Right.
So together we're going to build relationships a couple different ways, and she'll be kind of the lead person in this area. And I'm just here to kind of support her and her endeavors.
So she's going to go to places like me and say, hey,
Yes,
do you need this? Or hey, do you need mugs? Or hey, do you need whatever?
sure.
And it's so interesting how the universe works. We were just talking about this. You know, I have an interest in a company that does embroidery and shirts like that.
Yes,
And you're like, hey, you know what? I want to work with local companies.
Sure.
So why should I ship it out when I can have it done locally?
100%.
And that's truly my belief. I love the people in the chamber. I love most of the people up here. I've been blessed. A little harder to work up here than down south, but still, nevertheless, I've been quite successful in my company, and I kind of grown it. I'm blessed to have the people that I have. Jen is on a new path, okay, now, but she was at the chamber today.
Yep.
And she'll find her niche and find those people, which is a blessing. How do people get in touch with you? You have a website?
Our website is www.ssapp.net. So that stands for Signature Services and Promotional Products.
And you have a phone number?
It's
330.
330-858-1516.
Okay, so here's the rule of thumb always. Use a professional in every industry, otherwise you're going to pay 5 times more and have 10 times more the aggravation. And the reason I know that is because when I started my company, I went out and printed shirts on my computer and then ironed them on. So it cost me 5 times more because I made a million mistakes, okay? And I was so frustrated when I finally delivered product to the people. I did Kids Night Out on Broadway, so I made them all shirts. And if you had to read the shirt, you had to tip your head a little bit because it was it was crooked. But use a professional.
Sure.
You know, Joel, I want to thank you for coming on.
Very good. Thank you for your time.
Everybody, we'll be right back